Hello there, welcome to another World of Tanks console video with me, Wombo Leader, where we take a look at a game where I kind of pass on my tips and my knowledge and the reasons for the decisions that I make in this game to hopefully help you win more games, get better at the game, survive a little bit longer, and just pass on some of the knowledge that I have gleaned from the game over the many years that I have been playing. We're at Vierwappel Ridge, and this one we are in the Tier 6 German tank destroyer, the Jagdpanzer 4. It's a Tier 7 game, and when I start on this side I always head to one particular position because it's very good for trying to get some early damage, and that is towards this ridge line of trees just ahead of me. Now we do have a bit of a nail-biting match for you here. Goes to full duration of the time limit, the 15 minutes, very close, and will we make the right decisions in the end to pick up the victory? Well, you'll need to stick around or watch to the end to find out how this one goes down. As I said, it's got a little bit of everything in it, this one, but in this early stages of the battle I'm making my way to this one particular position. I'm going to knock this tree down here. Now if you knock down the trees you do get the added camo effect of the foliage being put down in front of you. We then reverse over the back of the ridge just in case somebody from the other side of the map has noticed me knocking down that tree. An experienced player will see things like that and then they'll maybe attempt a little bit of a blind fire expecting somebody to then move into that position. So we just moved back just to make sure there was no shells coming zinging towards us. We get a nice hit on the AMX-12T there as well. Nice early hit on their light tank is always very nice indeed. So this is a good position on this map because lots of players like to go up onto the hill just up there ahead, and if you've got a light tank who goes down into that area, then obviously very fast they can get over there before anybody gets into position. They can then usually spot some tanks up there and you can sometimes get some good early damage. At the moment though we've just managed that one shot on their light tank, and there's a couple of heavy tanks that have appeared, a KV-3 and a Dreadnought. The Dreadnought, who of which we are going to see a little bit more of later in the battle. But yeah, just early days here in this one, a couple of minutes in. Vierwappel Ridge tends to be a map where the matches can last a little bit longer, and finally we're rewarded with our patience as our M6 has made the cardinal mistake of driving onto the top of the hill, getting spotted, and very quickly they are eliminated from the game. So that's 3 damaging hits in already, 643 damage. And then the Dreadnought, very kindly, he's looking to get a shot. So the Dreadnought's a KV-2, 152mm derp gun. Takes a long time to aim, so he's obviously aiming at somebody there and he's giving us some nice side shots into his turret. That gets us up to 1000 damage 2.5 minutes into this battle with a little bit of assistance as well. But not too much progress been made by either team. We're 1 tank down, the enemy team have lost 2 tanks, one of them being the M6 that we've seen get evaporated very quickly. Yeah, if you're a heavy tank, if you're any tank really, except maybe a light tank or a sneaky tank destroyer, then do not be going up on top of that hill and exposing the entirety of your tank. There will be people just like me waiting for that very opportunity. So KV-3 is going to try and push on forward to put some pressure on our team down on that flank. We get 1 hit into them, break their engine in the process, and we're kind of just looking to see, can we get another shot into their blind fire there, take that house. Never liked that house anyway. But yeah, I think we've kind of ran the course of what we can probably achieve in that position. It's time to try and move on a little bit, try and find some other shots. That KV-3 is a little bit too far away and nobody else is risking going up on the hill. And I could see that there's a lot of heavy tanks that were putting pressure on our team down towards the other flank. We've got a T-150 here. We've got a trio of heavy tanks here as well, but just not quite getting any shots on them. Now we are sitting in the kind of middle of the map here, and you're probably thinking, that's a little bit exposed, Wombo. Surely if somebody spots you, you're in big trouble. Well, you are right, if somebody spots us, we are in trouble, but that crater that I had in front of me, one of the reasons I'm sitting here is if I do get spotted, then we can just dive into that crater, and it looks deep enough, and our tank is small enough, that if we do jump into there, we should be fairly safe to get back unspotted. So this one's still pretty close. Enemy team has lost 5 tanks, we have lost 4. And we're just trying to find some shots here, but we're not really achieving very much at all, I think it would be fair to say. But we're going to hang about here just a little bit longer to see if we can try and feather some shots. We've got that T-150 Up there we can see these heavy tanks here. We're just trying to get some shots to support our heavies. The KV-3 is over there. I know that Dreadnought is still there as well. I'm just looking to try and get some shots. But yeah, nothing is really presenting itself. It's time to move on. It's a close battle, this one. Well, very close indeed. Both teams have now lost 6 tanks. So a good battle in World of Tanks if you ask me. I hate these kind of one-sided battles, these washouts. I much prefer these kind of longer drawn out battles where it becomes a little bit more tactical, a little bit more strategic, rather than just kind of the YOLOing that can sometimes happen all too often. So now we're looking to maybe put some pressure on this T-150, but I also know that that Dreadnought is still down there as well. But we have kind of now taken a 2 tank advantage, so I'm thinking, okay, we need to be in position to get some damage here. We've got our full hit points. This is looking likely to be a win at this point, but that is World of Tanks. Anything can happen very quickly. I'm just sitting here looking for the T-150. Just check to see what that tank destroyer is. A Jackson, which can be dangerous, but nothing I need to worry about too much at all. And then still looking for this T-150. Maybe looking for the artillery. 6 sets goes off. Oh my god, that's a KV-2 there. The Dreadnought takes a shot at us, but we managed to jink in over the ridgeline just in case. We're going to pop up there, try and get a shot on them, bounce off the frontal armour of the KV-2. Right, we've got I think this is an 8.8mm gun we've got in this. It does 220 damage. I could be wrong. It is the top gun though, fully upgraded here in the Jagdpanzer 4. We've got a little bit of support from a couple of allies there on the minimap. Now what I'm just doing here is I am waiting on that Dreadnought firing. As soon as I hear him fire, I'm going to move in and try and take him out of the game, because I know that the Dreadnought has at least a 17-second reload, so it gives me the opportunity to sit in front of him. The first one bounces, the second one goes in. I'm kind of hoping and praying here. Do we fire first? We do. We take the Dreadnought out of the game. But that was a tense situation. You do not want to be sitting in front of a KV-2. Even with 710 hit points at the time, if he pens me, he can one-shot my tank fairly easily. And even if he doesn't pen me, he's probably still going to do about 400 or 500 damage and kill a couple of my crew members. So that was a tense situation, because I don't think it would have been a million miles away from getting that reload in. We take a hit on the backside from that T-150 that we were looking for earlier on. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to try and create distance. Now I know that Russian tanks, Russian heavies in particular, have really bad view range, particularly at low tier. T-150 is a tier 6 Russian tank. There's also a KV-3, which is the tier 7 Russian tank, and there is a KV-1S. So I know that the 3 heavy tanks left in this one have very poor view range, and whilst all that's been going on, the tables have turned very much against our team. We did have a 2 tank advantage, we now have a 2 tank deficit, as the enemy team have 5 tanks versus our 3. So I'm looking to see where my support is. We've got another tank destroyer down to my right hand side. We've got the artillery down in that direction as well. So I'm kind of hiding up here, because I know if that T-150, and I was expecting it to be the T-150, he will get spotted by either myself or my teammate, and we should have him in a crossfire. But it turns out the KV-3 has came this way. We put a shot in there into their engine. I see them firing at me. I think they take a hit maybe from the other tank destroyer or the arty, and then we can just pop out and put the kill shot in for our second kill of the game, and up to 2,000 damage, and it's now 4 versus 3. Now we had seen the T-150, which is just there, it's just reappeared, but the other heavy tank in this one we had not seen all battle. It's a KV-1S. I can't remember if that's tier 5 or tier 6, but we hadn't seen that tank the whole battle, which would suggest that it's somewhere towards the back of the map, maybe camping. So just wary of a tank that I've not spotted at any point. I've also not seen the Jackson since we kind of seen that earlier on in the battle, which was a good 3 or 4 minutes ago. And the Jackson, tier 6 American tank destroyer, very dangerous. You know, its gun is very good. So if it sees us, it's going to pen us. And I think it's got pretty good view range. Most American tanks have pretty good view range. So I don't have brilliant view range on this tank at the moment, because we're not playing it with a hugely skilled crew. I would expect to be outspotted by the Jackson, although it is a lot bigger than this tank, so maybe it would be fairly even in the end. So I'm just trying to pop up here, try to spot this T-150. We see him there, he takes a shot at us, and that came pretty close. Hoping by artillery, maybe get some damage on that T-150, but that's the only enemy tank out of the 4 that we actually know where it is at the moment. So just kind of going to keep prodding around here. In fact, no, what we're going to do actually is we're going to kind of create some distance between myself and that T-150. Use the advantage of our tank. We are a sneaky tank destroyer. We've got good concealment, and if we go in behind a bush, then it's almost impossible for that T-150 to spot me at any point. So I know the T-150 is going to keep prodding. He's done a good job. He's not kind of exposing too much of his tank, but he has taken a wee look up there. He's going to give us a shot into the side of his turret and take his first damage of the game. Artillery misses. He looks back up. He's looking to try and get a shot on my other tank destroyer teammate. It's going to allow us to put another shot into his turret. He's going to come up for another one. Oh, where did that one go? That could be crucial as this battle progresses. So the T-150 has no chance of spotting me, even though I'm firing, even though he's not a million miles away. Because we're in a bush, because the concealment of this tank is very good, he has very little chance of spotting. So just using the advantages of our tank in this one. But we're into the last 5 minutes of this battle now, and our artillery has been taken out, and the cap has been going for a period of time. My teammate is on his way to try and interrupt the cap. We're too far away to have an impact on that, so it's all down to our teammate at this point as it comes down under a minute. We're still spotting up the T-150. We're keeping the pressure on him so we can keep him quiet there. We're going to take a shot towards his cupola. Oh, that'd be a nice shot if we got it. Now jinking in behind this rock here, because he's seen that shell come in, and if he's looking down here, he's probably thinking, well, if he's a good player, if an experienced player, he's thinking, where is that shell coming from? And if he's seen the direction of the shell, then he's probably going to be thinking it's that bush there. So that's why we've jinked in behind the rock there, just in case he decides he wants to blind fire that. Now, I didn't know what gun he was running, but I know the T-150 can have a big gun that could possibly one-shot me. I think it's got a 390 Alpha gun for one of its options, even though it might not be the best gun for it. Although I've never played the tank, so I could be a little bit wrong. We pop out here, the T-150 does spot us, now we get in behind this house before they can fire. And thankfully, our tank destroyer teammate, in the meantime, has got to the cap, has interrupted the cap, and also taken the Jackson out. So now it's down to 2 heavy tanks and an artillery versus our 2 tank destroyers, and our teammate, I believe he's a Stug of some description, is making his way back towards me. We're kind of safety in numbers, even though we're not communicating here, we both seem to have the same idea that being at the same part of the map and being able to fire at the same target at the same time is our best bet. So we're creating some distance here from the T-150, see if we can get a shot on that tank there. And all the while, that timer is coming down now. It was pretty surprising at this point that we had no indication where the other heavy tank was at this point. So I had a small suspicion at this time that that KV-1S may well be AFK and is up somewhere towards their cap and has never actually participated in the battle. So I was thinking this is maybe now a 2 versus 2. Now my teammate here, the other tank destroyer, he's advancing forward, and I think he pops up a little message in just a wee second saying attack, because I think he's noticed how little time there is on the clock, whereas I have not at this point. I must admit I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the time, so I'm pretty sure any second now he calls for us to go in for the attack. So I see him going in though. I decide, well, safety in numbers, the T-150 can only shoot one of us, so if we go in together then we should be able to get some damage. But no sign of the T-150 as we come up around this corner, so I'm going to go up the hill, try and spot the cap circle. There's the artillery. Now I faff around a little bit too much trying to get a shot on this artillery, try to reverse up the hill, but we don't have the gun. It's not depression. What's the opposite of depression when it comes to these guns? Pointing the gun up in the sky, but we just don't have quite enough. Finally we managed to get a shot on the artillery, and we only track him with the first one, which was frustrating. Second one, he disappears, he goes camouflaged again, but we get the damage in. We managed to retrack him, we fired another one, but no damage, and now the T-150 has been spotted by my teammate. I need to go in and help him here. We need to take this T-150 out. Still no sign of the KV-1S. I'm now thinking that player is not participating in the battle. The Stug 33B is going to go in down the hill. We're going to distract the T-150 here. He hits us, he takes it, we take the damage. We're down to 114 hit points, but our teammate's coming in behind him. He's paying attention to him. We put one through the side of the turret. Can we finish him off before he kills our teammate? Our teammate did not need any help in the end and deals with the T150. It's only 33 seconds left on the clock. Let's try and both get into the cap. This one, I have no idea what's going to happen in this one. Whether this is a win, a draw, a loss. I don't even know how it's decided at this point. We're up to nearly 3,000 damage as well. As we come into the cap circle, we do spot the KV-1SE. It is AFK, but we also spot the artillery at the same time. Can we get the kill shot? No, we cannot. Let's just turn our attention, take as much health off this KV-1S before the battle ends. If it's down to hit points, who's got the remaining hit points? Then surely me and my teammate are going to have enough. But can we get the artillery before the battle's over? We had him in our sights. He's only got 120 hit points. I've got 114. Our teammate, I don't know how many he's got, but we had more in the end, and I think that was enough for the victory. A tense one, the full duration of the battle, and we kind of pulled that one out of the bag, being 2 tanks down when they had 5 and we only had 3, but technically they only had 4. But we finish P1 in this one, 3,138 damage. Our teammate, actually probably the hero of the battle, who interrupted the cap and probably deserves to be P1 more than me, finishing P2 in that one. But a very tense battle. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and some of the tips that I've passed on in this can help you in your future endeavours in World of Tanks console. Thank you for watching, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye now.